Dr. Tamara Harville here to talk to you about note-taking strategies today. When I first started college, I forgot how to take notes. I opened up my textbook, had a highlighter, and I highlighted and highlighted and highlighted until I was overwhelmed. I highlighted almost everything in the book because I didn't know how to take notes. So here are 5 common ways that will help you organize what you read when you're note-taking. They're called annotation, bulleted lists, outlining, summarizing, and mapping. Annotating is just marking up your text. It could be whether it's a highlighter or arrows, happy faces, different colored pens, whatever works best for you. But it's marking and labeling your book for the main ideas, areas of interest, supporting details. If you have a word that you don't understand, you can write the definition to it in the margin. So that's what annotating is. It's actually physically taking the notes. A bulleted list is just a list of all the main points. It can be a word or a phrase. Don't go overboard though and make like huge paragraphs for each bullet list because then you're overwhelming yourself. Yeah, just make little lists of the main points. When you outline, that's taking a big chunk and reducing it to the main points and outlining it. It's kind of the opposite as if you're writing an essay, you would make an outline first of what you're going to discuss and then turn that into a paragraph, then to an essay. This is reversing that process. And then summarizing, that's condensing what the author said and putting it in your own words into a smaller chunk. And so not too much, like every page could maybe be like 2 or 3 sentences max. And that would help you condense all of that down into a smaller portion to remember it easier. And then mapping, it's diagramming, making a chart with all these different lines to connect ideas. So let's look at these individually. So with bullet points, it's kind of easy. You can just make them however you want, numbers, letters, however. And it's just instead of writing an entire sentence or paragraph about each of them, you just kind of list what is being discussed. This would help you so that if you're needing to go back into the reading to find something specific about a rabbit, instead of having to read through all these notes, you can go, oh, rabbit's the third paragraph, and find what you're looking for. Annotating can be underlining, circling, exclamation points, question marks, an EX, for example, arrows, numbering, pretty much anything you can think of to mark up your text. Outlining and summarizing. Outlining, which is what I mentioned, is something you can do before you write an essay. So it's reversing that. It's taking what they have and then putting it into an outline that they might have even used. And it helps you see the main points. And then summarizing is taking the most important information and then condensing it down to a considerably shorter amount. Picture of like a movie you went to go see recently, and a friend asks you what the movie's about. You're not going to talk for 2 hours. You might talk for about 5 minutes. You just tell them the key points that were happening in the movie, right? That's what summarizing is. This is mapping in different ways. A mind map, this can be reversed. If you're writing something, you could make a map. But a mind map helps you focus on different things and the supporting details. So, for example, a style could be fun, emphasis, personal, beauty. Structure could be clear, associations, radiant, hierarchical. So this is just putting the supporting details with the main point. Similarly, this has been called webbing as well. You have your main point going out to your major supporting details, and then all the minors that support that. I know you can't read that. I can't read that. But like in a city, you could have buildings. What are the buildings? Well, you could have like a church. You could have the skyscrapers. You could have, banks, things like that. And then this kind of a hierarchy chart, you might see more often with the structure of a company, like the CEO and then the different departments and who works under them. But this would be like the main idea, the major supporting details and all those minor supporting details that explain that. Now, if the supporting details are a little confusing, I do have a video about supporting details as well. And then the last one I want to show you is the Cornell note-taking style. This is a really good style for taking notes in your notebook. They say you can fold your paper or just draw a line, and don't write on this side yet. Take your notes on this side. Explain what's being discussed, and then after class, go over here on the left and write main points, condense it down so that you can find it. So remember the list of the dog, the cat, the rabbit. Well, if you had all the information over here, you could just have dog, cat, rabbit, and you know where to find that information. And then at the very bottom, leave yourself a section that you can write key ideas, or like if you had chapter questions or something, you could write on that. So these different note-taking skills hopefully will help you out whenever you're reading academic work. Thank you.